Okay, so this stuff is pretty complicated, but it's done in the spirit of, good old-fashioned classical guitar. Let's look at the E shape. So we have an E shape down here. We have our octave up here. The E shape would be played. The pentatonic's a lot easier to find out. Do you have enough room to play it? If you're down here in the E shape, you don't have that. If you're playing an E-shaped F, see how you just raise it up and bar it? That's a tough bar because you're barring right next to that fret nut, and it's a little tough. So bar up close to the first fret nut there. Okay, and sometimes it helps to play into that. Don't just start there, but play something like what really wants to go there. Notice I pressed down right when I hit the chord, not beforehand. Okay, so if you go up 1/2 the fret nut, you can play it there in the finger barred pattern. If you want to use open strings, and this is for you people who want to use open strings, and I like to use open strings too, but I just can't wrap my head around these patterns. Here's how it goes. We start the pattern normally with the top 2/3 of an S3XL. So it's just going to start on root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Instead of going into this S4L here, so it'd be like, here's your E. Like that, and then we're going into the S4L. Easy as pie. Like that. It hurt, but it was easy. So what it is that's fine and dandy, but we don't want to be going like this. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to cross the fretboard so fast. So this pattern's good. It works. It really does work. Another easy way just to get away from the fret nut is just play the next cage shape up. So you got, all right. So you got your E there. I get into thinking these grooves, and I want to do my groove, but it's not time to do that. So E shape would go to a D shape. You would play a D shape diatonic or pentatonic on the top. So it'd be. And you can just pick up where you left off. That kind of thing. Just one up, one cage up. That's good, but that still is leaving our open strings unused. Granted, an open string, you can't bend it, and the patterns have to be adjusted a little bit. So what happened? This is my best guess at this, my best simplification. We have down here an S3XL, just R4 part. That's the top 2/3 of that pattern. Sorry about patterns going off the fretboard, but that's all I could come up with. The top part is going to be an S3XL5R, which is the bottom. So notice we have the top 2/3 of the pattern, and then we have the bottom 2/3 of the pattern. That happens a lot. The pattern coming in and the pattern going out. And in the middle you have the pattern additionally. But we're not going to use the pattern in the middle. It starts like over here again. So this is the beginning of the X3XL. You know, it would go like all the way over here. See, it would be going to the right there, about you know, another couple of boxes. That would be the pattern, and then this is this is another one of them. So you can see how these patterns travel across the keyboard. Okay, and then this would be another one down here. So it would go from here to here to here. This 5 would start another one, but because of the tuning warp, you know, it would be set back this way a little bit. Actually, it would be 5. Root would be right here. So that's how the patterns kind of travel across the keyboard there. All I'm saying is those 3 weren't part of the same kind of stream of patterns. You know, the same like rush of patterns. It starts another one, so there's one, then there's another. They're like stripes that go across. So here we have my best guess at what we can do. We have S4L73, which is the beginning of an S4L there. But we want to use these open strings, so we're not going to complete that S4L. So you have the top, you're starting on the root here. That's it for the S4L there. Only have the top 2 strings. Done with that. Now we have to get something else going. Okay, it used to be I'd just go 5, 6 into the top of a S3L. That 5, 6, you know, can be substituted. You can use, once you get that 5, 6, you can put any 5, 6 in there. Could be a new S3XL. Okay, but what we're going to do here, once we've exhausted this S3XL, which is a nice string of 6 notes, we're going to do an S4, we're going to pretend like we're going to do an S4L pattern, which usually just sits right on top of it anyway. So in that case, we've got the root and the 4 here. We got the root and the 4 here, right? And then we're going to do this part of the S4L. But we're not going to continue that S4L. We want to go back for this root and this 5. Because we want, this is for chart 200, you know, in commemoration of classical, you know, what they call classical guitar, which is really country folk guitar, which has, I think, a lot of open chords and walk-ups and things like that. People like Jimmy Dillon, you know, who likes to play that kind of stuff, and other people that were great guitarists that I can't remember their names really when I was young, that played that kind of stuff. So like Bob Dylan, you know, or Arlo Guthrie or somebody. The name just comes from the past, back from the past. So what we do here is then we're going to do an S3XL. We're going to it just so happens because of the tuning warp, we get another S3XL can start here, and that's easy. So we got but we got a 7, we got a double 5 right here. Okay, so that's a problem. So, you know, that's what we got to look at. We'll be probably wanting to play one of these split things. So just remember, if we're going to go back a half a position, it's like a half a position back to the, so we want all open strings, right? Then we're going to have to split one of the patterns. We're going to have to split one of the string shapes. So this is also split. Sorry, I found that out. I didn't notice this was a double 5 here. So it'd just be a 7 root 2 3 4 there. Okay, that's a pretty long pattern, and then we just go into like a 5 6 7. So it'd be